Government engages stakeholders on unfounded allegations of theft of men's private parts in Lower Shire. And in sports, Kamuzu Barracks suspend head coach Duane Mhoni and his assistant Joseph Chirabondwa as National Coaches Association condemns the development. In our first story, President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has directed law enforcement agencies to intensify efforts to restore order and ensure that all perpetrators of mob justice on unfounded allegations of theft of men's private parts for ritual purposes are brought to justice. Presidential Press Secretary Kathy Mauridi says the president has further condemned the unfortunate incidents in the Lower Shire where 7 people have lost their lives following unfounded allegations of theft of men's private parts for ritual purposes. She said the Malawi leader has described the killings as deeply unfortunate and unacceptable in this modern era. The president has further advised all Malawians to desist from spreading false rumors and taking the law into their own hands. Meanwhile, regulator Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority (MACRA) has issued a warning to broadcasters in the country to desist from disseminating unverified information that can incite violence and public disorder. Director General for MACRA, Mamiko Nkoloma, issued the warning following incidents involving alleged missing private parts reported in Chikwawa and in Sanje districts. We have a joint report by Ruthi Jinangwa and Rashida Matandiga.
In a statement, Nkoloma said while broadcasters have the right to inform the public on issues of national interest, they also have a responsibility to ensure that the information they disseminate is accurate, balanced and verified before publication or broadcast. Nkoloma further said presenting rumors as facts has the potential to incite communities to attack innocent people. Limpani Sabaro is the public relations officer for MACRA.
The current issue in general, licensees, broadcasters have got an obligation to only broadcast news that is verified. They have a responsibility to ensure they only broadcast news that is verified. So where they do not follow that requirement, then we have a problem. Just to remind the broadcasters of their obligations to ensure they don't promote news that is likely to incite violence. At the same time, we also want to appeal to the public not to take the law into their own hands in reaction to some media reports that may not even be verified.
Meanwhile, the number of people arrested for allegedly attacking others on suspicion that they steal and cause the disappearance of people's private parts has reached 55. According to Malawi Police Service spokesperson Lyle Chintembo, investigations are still underway to identify other individuals who took part in the acts that resulted in the killing of 7 people and the injury of 2 others in the districts of Nsanje and Chikwawa following the rumors. More than 20 of the suspects are being held at Chichiri prison, where they are awaiting court judgment, and others still in police custody. Ruth Chinangwa, MBC News, Blantyre.
The Ministry of Gender, Children, Disability and Social Welfare says it has formed a strong collaboration with the Ministries of Justice, Homeland Security and local government to find lasting solutions to cases of mob justice against people accused of practicing witchcraft. Minister responsible, Mary Navicha, said this in Lilongwe following the recent killing of 7 people over accusations that the victims were responsible for the alleged disappearance of private parts of some men. Navicha said immediate steps are being taken to engage district councils and chiefs, among others, to develop bylaws which would help to protect the people, including elderly, from such cruelty. He said it is sad that since January this year, 16 elderly people have been killed over witchcraft accusations, besides the Chikwawa and Nsanje incidents. She spoke to Patrick Dambola.
Indeed, my ministry is very concerned with the rise in cases of violence in our country, particularly in Nsanje, Chikwawa, and in Zimba. The killing of people in Chikwawa and the killing of other persons in Zimba is very unfortunate, and we are very disappointed. And as a ministry, we'll continue working together with our colleagues in the Ministry of Homeland Security, Ministry of Justice, and Ministry of Local Government, ensuring that other persons and all people are fully protected. You know, these rumors are just created by some people who can just wake up and say, someone is taking away my private bus. So this is very concerned, and we are very, very concerned. We are working together with the Ministry of Local Government, ensuring that we sit down with the chiefs and all community leaders to come up with bylaws that protects people. We should work hand in hand together with our social welfare officers, the police, the chiefs, councillors, and members of parliament, because the responsibility for protection people belongs to all of us, not an individual. So coordination can indeed make people to understand easily these issues. But we should stop, and we are condemning seriously the killing of people in the country. We should not take the law in our hands.
We are trying as Manepo to make sure that we advocate for the rights of older persons, and with the Older Persons Act, we are trying to sensitize more people. We go in the rural areas to do the Older Persons Act, the training on the Older Persons Act, and in addition to that, we're working hand in hand with government in order that we inform more people about these killings, and we make sure that the violence is being limited.
Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Ben Piri has urged the people of Chikwawa and Nsanje to desist from peddling false stories of alleged missing private parts. He said this in the area of Senior Chief Masea when he joined the Malawi Police Service and other duty bearers in a community sensitization campaign against the malpractice. Temba Mwari has filed this report, which is read by Norbert Jameson.
The minister said the false allegations are costing lives of innocent people. Piri said government, led by President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, is committed to ensuring the safety of every Malawian, hence will not tolerate such a malpractice. He therefore called on chiefs and members of the community to work hand in hand with law enforcers in addressing the vice.
Malawians, we are known globally as the warm heart of Africa because we have been a peaceful people. The culture of destroying lives, the culture of malice has not been part of us. This is a new trend and we condemn it to the strongest tell. The president will not accept, not even one, to misinform the nation. We know that there have been wars in different countries because of misinformation, and we cannot allow to sell our only capital, which is peace in Malawi, because of one stupid person who just woke up one day and decided to speculate. Now, I want to send a strong message from the president, and as you have already seen, the Deputy Inspector General, the whole Deputy Inspector General is here. The message is clear. Sweep all misinformation, sweep all malice, and anyone who is trying to be part of this cartel, whether you're a politician, a social media commentator, or whoever you call yourself, that ends today. Malawi must be safe, Chikwawa must be safe, whether it is whichever district, we must have a safe country. And no more death should be experienced. The police are on the alert, and this time around, the police you knew yesterday, I can comfortably say on behalf of the Minister of Homeland Security, is not the police of yesterday. The police today will get hold of you and you'll regret it.
Senior Chief Masea applauded the minister for his effort to eliminate the vice. So far, no one has come in the open to prove that his genitals disappeared. Since allegations of missing male genitals started, 7 people have been killed in cases of mob justice, and scores of perpetrators have been arrested.
The Malawi Peace and Unity Commission has pointed to persistent financial constraints as a reason for their failure to respond to issues compromising peace in the country, such as mob justice driven by superstitions, like recent cases in Nsanje and Chikwawa districts. Speaking when the Commission appeared before the Parliamentary Committee on Social and Community Affairs, Chief Peace and National Unity Officer Simon Mvundula highlighted that under the 2026-2027 budget, they have a funding deficit of about 3.3 billion kwacha. Mvundula adds that the Commission is operating at 100% vacancy rate and has only one vehicle for field operations. He says this is affecting their ability to capacitate its staff and to respond to emerging peace and related issues that the country is currently experiencing. He has since urged the committee to help the Commission lobby for resources. Now, I am joined by Beatrice Mwape, who was a part of the discussions, and she is on the line with me. Beatrice, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Romeo.
Can you please tell me what is the latest over there?
Well, the Peace and Unity Commission appeared before the committee basically to share some of the programs that they have at the commission, some of the challenges that they have, strategic priorities that they would want to engage in. So basically they were just explaining. As we all know, the committee is more into the welfare of people in the country, especially the vulnerable communities, talk of children, women, and people with disabilities, and the general welfare of people in the country. So when explaining some of the issues that they have at the Commission, National Coordinator said that they have issues to do with funding, explaining that at the moment they have a funding deficit. During the discussions, it was observed that they are silent on issues to do with peace. So he highlighted that some of the issues contributing to that silence is the funding, saying that at present they have few funds channeled to operations of the Commission. They don't have enough to capacitate their employees on issues of conflict resolution, monitoring, and a lot more to do with peace in the country. So he highlighted that those are some of the issues which are hindering them to ensure that they are able to do their work as expected. And one of the issues which he highlighted is the issue of mob justice cases currently on the rise in the lower Shire. So he appealed, the Commission appealed for more funding, highlighting that of course they have donors whom they work with, but most of the times they work based on the needs or wants of the donors available at that moment. So those are some of the issues, and to add to that, the coordinator also highlighted that they are currently operating on a 0% vacancy rate. They don't have people designated to do specific jobs in the Peace Commission. However, there is one issue that pointed out to positive projects that they are doing, and one of them is that it is now subverted, and they have a vote in the budget, meaning that at least there is something positive happening to ensure that they have funding to do their operations very well, and they are also planning to have district peace and unity officers in the country. So just to give a summary of what has happened at Parliament today is that the Commission highlighted that some of the issues are contributing to their failure to handle their work as expected, to deliver on their mandate, is the issue of funding, and they have since called on the committee to help them lobby for the funds so that they are visible, people get to know about them, they are able to detect issues of conflict beforehand, and make sure that people in the country know and understand the need to maintain peace, unity, and order.
I appreciate very much, Beatrice, for your time.
Thank you so much.
Remember, you're watching MBC News. A reminder of our top stories this afternoon. President Mutharika describes the killing of people in the Lower Shiri on unfounded allegations of theft of men's private parts as deeply unfortunate and unacceptable in this modern era. Government engages stakeholders on unfounded allegations of theft of men's private parts in the Lower Shiri. And in sports, Kamuzu Barracks suspends head coach Duane Mhone and his assistant Joseph Chirabondwa as National Coaches Association condemns the developments. Moving on, the Minister of Justice Charles Mhango has commended the offices of the Administrator General, State Advocate and Registrar General for operating with low staff levels, serving serious cases in their respective jurisdictions. The minister made the remarks after visiting the 3 offices in Mzuzu, where he appreciated how the offices are operating. He said the government is committed to ensuring that it addresses all the challenges that the offices are facing to ensure a smooth delivery of services to the public. Hassan Piri reports.
Minister expressed satisfaction at high level of dedication and commitment to work demonstrated by officers from the offices of the Administrator General, Registrar General and State Advocate, saying these 3 crucial offices are working with lowest levels of staff. The minister said the kind of services they are providing are crucial, including registration of companies, administering deceased estates, and provision of judicial services to the less privileged, among other key duties.
Across the board, all the departments that have inspected today, staffing levels are very low, where they are supposed to have maybe 30 or 25 established positions, they are like 13. In the Administrator General, they are supposed to be 40, they are only 19 on the ground. State Advocate Chambers, they are supposed to be 40 something, they are only 21 on the ground. So all of them are operating at below 50% in terms of filling positions.
The minister has said the government is working around the clock to ensure that it addresses all the challenges the 3 offices are facing. He said the government of President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika is committed to ensure that all the offices are well staffed and have all the necessary resources, including vehicles, furniture and computers.
Sure, my staff that as the things improve, as the economy improves, as we're picking up the economy, we should be able to address. Another issue is that there are certain positions which are held by what we call an established person.
The Minister of Justice is in the northern region, where among others he is expected to visit departments and institutions under his ministry. Hassan Piri, MBC News, Mzuzu.
Malawi Electoral Commission Chairperson Justice Anabion Darimanja says Malawians need to realize the importance of by-elections as they provide opportunity for people to choose their representatives at Parliament and in local councils. Justice Darimanja said this in Lilongwe when she visited voter registration centers. From Lilongwe, Beatrice Mwabe reports.
During the visit at Bwaira, Chilambula, Bambino, Bwemba primary schools and Maula prison, Justice Mtalimanja noted that although the centers were opened in good time, turnout was low. She acknowledged the existing challenge during by-elections but expressed optimism that there will be a change as the process continues. Mtalimanja says oftentimes people deem by-elections as less important comparing to general election, but has stressed the value it has in representation and the country's development. She has since encouraged people to participate in all electoral processes, adding MEC will intensify voter education to raise awareness on the importance of by-election.
We continue with our civic and voter education efforts and initiatives to ensure that we are reaching out to the electorate with the necessary voter education information. But also we want to emphasize that by-elections are as important as general elections. I think there's a general feeling out there that by-elections are not that important and people do not readily participate, and we want to encourage people to come forward and to deem by-elections as an important process as a general election, because at the end of the day it's still about representation in parliament as well as the local government.
In her remarks after registering, village head Kamtedza said many people do not participate in by-elections, citing tiring processes. She has since expressed her commitment to encourage people in her area to register and participate in the voting process.
I will encourage my subjects to take part in the voter registration process and vote. The election will help us choose a person who will represent us.
MEG has launched the voter registration process, which will run from 12 to 18 May. According to the electoral body, people above 18 years old and those who will turn 18 by 30th June are encouraged to register. Malawi is expected to hold by-elections in Lilongwe Bwaila constituency, Machinga Mikoko constituency, Balaka Mlunguzi constituency, Uliwa ward in Karonga South constituency, and Kanjuli ward in Machinga Central East constituency. Beatrice Mwabe, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Beautify Malawi BIM Trust has adopted Bwaila District Hospital to tackle sanitation crisis, signaling a renewed commitment to improving service delivery through enhanced hygiene standards and public health facilities. BIM representative Fani Gajari disclosed this after conducting a high-level inspection of the hospital. The development comes just 2 months after the trust launched its strategic plan for 2026 to 2030. Ngaim Tumodzi reports.
A recent visit by the Beautify Malawi BIM Trust on Tuesday at Bwaila District Hospital in Lilongwe has revealed a critical sanitation crisis. Infrastructure decay, lack of usable bathrooms and blocked toilets has forced patients and guardians to use basins for bathing and relieving themselves within the hospital premises. This sanitation breakdown poses a significant risk to the 3 million people served by the hospital. In her reaction, BIM representative Fani Gachare said it was the desire of the First Lady and founder of the trust, Professor Mutharika, that hospitals must be sanctuaries of healing rather than environments where patients and guardians risk contracting further diseases due to poor hygiene.
We are working with Bwaila on quality improvement. There is a star rating criteria that the Ministry of Health is doing, and we were able to learn that Bwaila in 2023, when they were assessed, they were at 1-star level, and in 2025 they were still at the 1-star level, and it's because when the assessors come, the facility is not meeting the indicators that they are supposed to fulfill in terms of, like, there are some policy documents which are not available. The equipment that I talked about is also not adequate. It makes them not achieve the highest star. The highest star is 5, and they are still at 1. But as a hospital, they want at least to move to 3-star, of course, on the way to the 5-star. So we are going to work with them. They have made their work plan, and together with Bwaila Hospital, as Beautify Malawi, we will assist them to help each other to mobilize resources. And I hope that maybe even the public well-wishers who are hearing Bwaila has got huge problems, and if we sort these problems, especially the plumbing problems, they would be able to move to the star level 3 that they want, because we know that the First Lady, who is our patron for Beautify Malawi, she is so particular on sanitation. She wants the Malawi to be clean, beautiful Malawi, and it can only be clean if we take care of these facilities.
On his part, Chairperson of Sanitation and Hygiene Task Force for Bwaila Hospital, Collins Moyo, said he was delighted that BIM has adopted the hospital and was hopeful that the partnership will improve provision of quality health care to the patients.
We are so glad as Bwaila to Madam Gertrude Mutharika for choosing Bwaila to be one of the facilities that Beautify Malawi is going to support. we do appreciate and thank so much to the Madam President for the support that has been promised to be provided to us, which has the capacity to improve our service delivery as well as sanitation.
Through the partnership, BIM will rehabilitate the facilities and provide the necessary support to help the hospital achieve its intended star rating for health and safety. Bwaira joins other hospitals adopted under this nationwide sanitation drive like Balaga District Hospital, Rumpi District Hospital, Cholo District Hospital and Mzuzu Urban Health Center. Through these adoptions, BIM Trust aims to restore the dignity and safety to Malawi's public health care system. Bwaira currently acts as the primary referral hub for 86 health centers, creating an immense amount of pressure on its struggling infrastructure. Maim Tumodzi, MBC News, Lilongwe.
In sports, Kamuzu Barracks have suspended head coach Duone Mhone and his assistant Joseph Chirabondwa. This follows the team's slow start to the FDH Bank Premiership as they have just managed a point from 3 matches. Kenwood Nkoma has been roped in as Mhone's replacement. Mhone becomes the second coach to be suspended this season, and the first being Enos Ichatama of Ekaya. Meanwhile, chairperson for the National Coaches Association, Aubrey Nankuni, has condemned the moves, saying it's too early to take such action in just 3 games. Well, that item also concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. President Mutharika describes the killing of people in the Lower Shiri on unfounded allegations of theft of men's private parts as deeply unfortunate and unacceptable in this modern era. Government engages stakeholders on unfounded allegations of theft of men's private parts in the Lower Shiri. And in sports, Kamuzu Barracks suspends head coach Duone Mhone and his assistant Joseph Chirabondwa as National Coaches Association condemns the developments. For live news updates, visit our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You were with me, Romeo Omari, and from all of us here, it's thanks for watching and good afternoon.
La sante. Narwane na palidism. No. Narjue. Tangu makayo taleo, malaria haitoki hapa. Nasimamia. Manake wakomoro ataki kula, ataki kufanya nini. Ndio manake mpaka leo malaria ina shida kabisa. Sasa nanje hapa hapa ndo kazi hapa.
Kayo epidemia ino na porcentaje nyingi hususan sana hamumra wa maluzini kaya udahunur jihunrao ndai kaya o ngareseve uzinji majaya kaya ngalo harmae mirambali na bali jauhunu ngesababishao emaludi ngesababishao mabibi menji ngesababishao contamination zinji kaya o.
Heureusement, le paludisme a connu une forte augmentation des cas ces dernières